Hey everybody, I'm back with another video. It's been way too long since I made one, and I've just been busy with my day job, but I wanted to update you on a new product that I'm going to be adding to the store. This product has been probably in the works for the past year or two. I just couldn't quite wrap my brain around how to do it, and so this video I'm going to show you my whole thought process over the past year or so, and then toward the end we'll introduce the new product. So if you just want to skip straight to the new product and you don't like this little background information, I'll put the timestamp in the comments below so you can know where to jump to. But for now, let's take a little bit of a history stroll. Most farmers will recognize this. They've got a 5-gallon bucket and one of these green gold sifting pans, or sets of 5 or 6 pans that they get from Amazon. I'll have links to this as well in the comments if you need it. But this is like the industry standard for most mealworm farmers. There's different mesh sizes ranging from 1/4 of an inch gap to all the way up to like 1/30th, 1/50th, 1/90th, I think they sell now. Way too small for your needs. But most farmers use 5 or 6 of these trays to sift out their substrate and worms and beetles and pupa and all the other tidbits and babies and stuff. And I, for years, have been selling these pupa sifting inserts that go inside of your top bucket like this. This allows you to actually sift out pupa before they go through any of the other layers, because the cross hatch of the wire mesh doesn't work well with pupa. It's my long slots that do the trick. And I've been selling these. It's probably my #1 product for years, these little round inserts. But as years go by, these green trays have gotten more and more and more and more expensive. They used to be about $12 when I first bought them. Probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, and now they're at least $24 and on Amazon each. So this is becoming harder and harder to buy for farmers starting out. They make mini sifters, which I will also have a link to, but still these are so good. It's just it hurts to spend more money on them. And so a couple years ago I said, let's get rid of the green tray and let's find a way just to be able to sit this inside of the bucket. And so I added a handle which allows you to like lift it and lower it into the bucket, and that's been doing pretty well. The only issue is when you lift it out of the bucket, it leaves a little bit of a gap that stuff falls down around. So for the past year or so I've been trying to come up with a solution without those green trays. Like, how can I build walls on my round inserts? And I have a 3D printer, so I 3D printed these walls. You've never seen these before. I've never showed them on any videos. They're not on my website, but they're just these little curvy round pieces that there's little pegs that fit into holes that I have added. And it's a hot mess because these little pieces of plastic, they fall off. You can see a couple right there. Then there's additional pieces you have to glue. I just wasn't happy with it, even though the idea is a pretty cool idea. I think I was making vegetables one night, and those little metal strainers, like the accordion type, is what inspired me to do this. But I never was happy enough to try to post this for sale. I didn't want to like let down customers. And so this has just been sitting collecting dust on my shelf for quite a while. But I happened to be strolling up and down the aisles of Home Depot a couple weeks ago, and I noticed that they sell baby buckets, little 2-gallon buckets compared to the 5 gallons that we typically use. And I thought, wow, these little buckets are so perfect for sifting. They're like handheld, and they might just be perfect if I can find a way to do it. The other cool thing about these buckets is they actually fit in my laser cutter. If I lower this bed all the way to the bottom, I could just barely get this in to be able to cut the bottom out. I can't do this with these buckets. I thought about that years ago. They're just way too tall to fit in this laser cutter. Home Depot sells 2-gallon buckets for $3 each. Lowe's sells the exact same buckets made by the same company called United Solutions, also for $3. You can find them elsewhere online for $3, but then you have to pay a crazy amount of shipping. So Home Depot and Lowe's are the best places to get these. I prefer the Home Depot ones a little bit more to the Lowe's, and I'll maybe touch on why in a little bit. But the idea first started with me just trying to make the basic insert that I had that fits right in the top here and sits like that, right? You can put your substrate in, swirl it around, and everything falls to the bottom. The handle still allows you to pull things out. It was still kind of a clunky idea of pulling it straight out from the top. But then I had the idea, well, what if I cut the bottom out with the laser cutter? The first thing I had to do was find out if my laser can handle this material. This material, it says it's somewhere, I think it's on the bottom of the Lowe's. It is, where did I see that? I saw it somewhere. HPV or something like that, I don't know. The big thing is that it can't be PVC, which would cause my laser to combust chemically, which is not a good thing. But this is laserable plastic, and so what I did is I cut the hole out, right? You completely put your arm through. There's a little bit of a lip here around the edge that I left, and this allows me to put in a sifting insert all the way at the bottom, which creates so much more space for all of your substrate. It's a pretty secure fit. It's not going anywhere. And let me hold this correctly. There we go. If you look on the bottom, the lip holds everything in place. It's hard to do this and video at the same time, I'm realizing. But it supports it pretty well. And the weight of the substrate is going to keep the insert in place. And when you're all done, you might have your pupa sitting on top. You can maybe put this over another bucket and just simply, let me get the angle right, turn this over to shake them out. You don't have to do any lifting all the way here. Just simply give it a little bit of a twist, and you can empty everything out from the bottom into a clean tray. So I have, this is the MDF version. I have clear acrylic versions. It's hard to film clear acrylic, so I keep the paper on so you can see it better. But this will be completely clear. In both sizes, they would all come with handles as standard. I do have 3D printed handles with my little logo, and a screw and a washer. I don't mind buying the buckets and selling the buckets, after cutting them, of course, and shipping the buckets. But shipping buckets adds weight, which means it adds shipping cost. So if you are willing to pay for me to do this to your bucket for you, have a perfectly clean cut, I don't mind doing that. But if you don't, if you want to try to cut it yourself, I also created these little templates that fit right on top of the bucket that help you line up where to cut your tray. I even have directions built into it. The reason why I like the Home Depot buckets a little bit better is because there's two little notches. I don't know if you see it on the camera, but two little notches here that I've even allowed a space for. So if you line up your center hole and then line up these two little notches, it helps keep your cardboard more secure. So when you're tracing, it's not going to slide on you. The Lowe's bucket is the exact same dimensions. It just doesn't have any notches. And so it still works just fine. Just have to hold it down and trace. But once you've traced it, you can then get an X-Acto knife or a hot knife, like an electric knife, and make your cut on your own to save on shipping costs. Just like my other round inserts, I have the pupa, which is the standard, the main reason for making these, but I also have designed all of the other sizes. So there's like 1/6 and 1/7 and 1/8 and 1/9 and 1/10 and 12th and 13th, 14th, 15th, all the way up to 1/16 of an inch. So you can buy these individually on their own, or you can buy them in sets of like 6. Maybe you can use them just for sizing your mealworms, like medium, small, and large worms. Or you can use them to thin out your babies into smaller sizes. 1/16 is pretty small, but that's the smallest I cut for now. One of the greater benefits of the green sifting pans is that they can stack vertically on top of your bucket. But the cool thing about buckets is buckets also stack on top of each other. So if you had 5 or 6 of these buckets all cut out with their own dedicated sifter size in each of them, you could just stack the buckets just like you stack the green trays. So you could have 6 buckets tall with 6 different sizes that you're filtering out. Another reason why I like the Home Depot buckets better than Lowe's is they are kind of transparent. You can see where the bottom of this top bucket goes to. There's a good 2 or 3 inches of space between the bottom of this bucket and the bottom of the bucket above it. So just like the green sifting trays, you can stack it vertically and have dedicated sifter sizes for each bucket. If you're worried about this being loose, you could even like super glue each tray to the bottom of each bucket if it's for a more permanent position. And I will sell you, a whole set of 6 inserts plus a set of 6 buckets if you want, or you could just do 1 bucket and swap out the inserts. So a set of 6 of these plus 1 bucket to save on cost. So lots of options. You'll find them on the website in a little bit. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this. I don't know what else you are wanting to know about, but this is just one more option. Price point, it's going to be in between my mini sifter inserts and the regular rounds. So I think $15 is the starting price for the MDF, 15 or 12, what is it, 15 or 17 for the acrylic, something like that. So very affordable, $15 for this compared to $24 for the green trays on Amazon. It's a deal. Even if you got a complete set of 6 of these, including the buckets, it'll be a lot cheaper than getting the set of 5 trays on Amazon. So trying to help you all save some money, trying to, of course, compete with those green trays. But with this setup, you don't need green trays at all. And it hurts me to say that because I've been recommending them since 2017 when I started and first got it myself. I use them every single week, and if I still had mealworms, I would be moving to this system because it's a deeper tray, because you have the depth of the bucket, and it's a whole lot cheaper. So yeah, again, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'll be posting it on the website soon, so you can purchase it. Check out my Facebook page, Space Coast Mealworms. There's also mealwormfarming.com, and I help run a mealworm Facebook group. Just search for Mealworm Farming Co-op, CO-OP. I've been helping to run that for many, many years now. The focus of that Facebook group is education and helping new farmers get started. Me being a teacher full-time is like right at my alley. So it's a really cool community there, just to learn tips or to share your celebrations or issues that you're having. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time.